So far, we've been focusing on the best protection for drivers, and most of it applies to adult passengers too. Then, there are some different steps for children. Ideally, infants and young children should always ride in the rear, where the risk of injury is lower. If there's a passenger airbag, rear-facing restraints should never be placed up front, because if the airbag inflates, it can hit the back of the restraint with enough force to seriously injure the baby. When infants graduate to child seats, they should still ride in back. Make sure the restraint is tightly secured to the vehicle with a safety belt, and the child is buckled in too. When children get too big for their child restraints, they may use booster seats to raise them up and get a better fit into an adult safety belt. Or a child may be big enough to use an adult belt without a booster. Just be sure the lap belt fits low across the hips and the shoulder portion is comfortable. Don't ever put a shoulder belt behind a child or under the arm. Remember, the rear seat is still the safest. Only if there's no choice should a child ride up front. And if there's a passenger airbag, it's very important to remember that the force of an inflating airbag can cause injuries. So move the vehicle seat back as far as it will go to keep the child away from the airbag. And for the same reason, don't let a child sit forward on the edge of the seat like some kids want to do. And remember this especially. Never place an infant restraint up front if there's a passenger airbag. Riding unrestrained has always been the biggest hazard for both children and adults. Safety belts and airbags are saving lives and preventing serious injuries. If you take these few extra steps, you'll be in a position to get the maximum benefits from your restraints. So remember the basics. Buckle up properly. Sit back so you're away from the steering wheel and airbag. Check your head restraint. And make sure infants and children are restrained properly in rear seats. Making sure everyone is effectively restrained is the best way to reduce your risks in the crash.